Okay, so we've got 50 questions in today's video. We're going to look at 50 vocabulary questions at C2 level from Exam English. No, not Exam English, sorry. ESLLounge.com, sorry. Anyway, ESLLounge.com. What have you got for us today? We've got, essentially, I'm going to do 5 exercises which are very similar to, or they're based on part 1 of the Reading and Use of English section of the C2 Cambridge Certificate of Proficiency in English exam. Basically, you have 4 options for the gap in each sentence. Obviously, the real exam is like a short text with 8 gaps and 4 options for each gap. So it's a little bit more difficult, perhaps, because we don't have the context here, and I think a few of the sentences are a little bit, iffy. There's a couple of mistakes. Anyway, that's today's video. That's what we're going to be looking at. If you want another video today, why don't you consider becoming a member and clicking on the blue button under this video, and you'll get to see me correcting people's writings and answering questions and whatnot, and a load of other exclusive content. And it can be whatever content you want, because, you can influence it. You can become a content influencer on this channel. But if not, let's just watch this video I'm about to do now. Let's get into it. Number 1, the epidemic is thought to have started when the Brazilian monkey traveled to Europe with a circus and infested, was contagious to, infected, quarantined some of the animals there. I think this one's fairly clear. I think sometimes people get infested and infected confused, but no, I think it's fairly clear that it needs to be infected in this question. No, I would go for infected. I'm not going to write the answers in there because you can see what I'm saying. I'm saying C, infected, and I will check the answers afterwards, after each exercise, after each 10 sentences. Infested, obviously, we say that a house is infested with termites, for example, something like that. Anyway, let's go on to number 2. Sentence number 2, it says, his performance was so spectacular that he was singled, filtered, distinguished, selected out for praise by the team manager at the end of the game. Right, this is an expression which means that you were, out of everyone else, you were the person who was essentially selected. But the expression is singled out, right? So you were the one that stood out of all of the others, and you were the one that was picked, essentially, by the manager for praise. The person that was that special attention was given to, I suppose, or something like that. The expression is singled out. He was singled out for praise. Okay, let's carry on. Number 3. That is Suzy's car. That is Suzy's car in the driveway. She shouldn't be, couldn't be, oughtn't be, can't be. Well, this isn't really like part 1, is it? Because you normally only have one word. But I suppose it's good practice for modals of deduction. If Suzy's car is in the driveway, she can't be at work. I think couldn't be is also right. But I guess, as it's clearly now, she's in the driveway. Her car's in the driveway. I guess can't be is more correct. She can't be at work. It's impossible that she is at work now, but I think we could also say couldn't be. Oughtn't be and shouldn't be are the same, and it's not quite appropriate here. Okay, so far so easy, I think, no? Let's see, number 4. You can decide not to go to university, but you suffer, run, do, put the risk of not getting a job later. Yeah, because getting a degree in anything guarantees you a job in today's market, doesn't it? No, I think... but you run the risk is the expression, right? You are at risk of not getting a job. You run the risk of not getting a job later. Yeah, that one's fairly easy. Again, all right, so let's move on to number 5 then, it says, the job costs of this plan, sorry, the job, I don't know where I read the job. The costs of this plan for our company are outrun, overrun, outweighed, overthrown by the enormous benefits it will bring us. And I think we should approve it as soon as possible. Yes, so we're saying like the negative aspects are outweighed by the positive aspects, right? So they weigh more, they have more weight, they're more important, right? So even though there are going to be costs to the company, it's going to be expensive. This plan is going to be expensive. Overall, the costs are outweighed, by the enormous benefits. Out is a really interesting prefix because it basically means to be more than whatever goes past it. So if you outrun something, you run faster than it. You outweigh, weighs more. Outperform, you perform better than something else or someone else. To overrun is, I guess, to kind of like you overrun. Is kind of like overwhelmed, I think, when you overrun with work or something like that. You have too much work, you're overrun. Something like that. Overthrown is to usurp. So you overthrow a king or queen. Anyway, let's have a look at number 6 then. If we walk sharply, warmly, briskly, fluently enough, we should arrive at the hostel before it gets dark. Right, so perhaps not many people know this. We talk about good exercise. People sometimes go for a stroll and they think that they're doing exercise, but really what doctors recommend is a brisk walk, right? It's walking at a fairly quick pace. So if we walk briskly enough, it's essentially if we walk intensely, quickly enough, fast enough, briskly enough, we should arrive at the hostel before it gets dark. Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt there. Now you mention his name, I do have a vague, 6 options here. That's not part 1. But anyway, I do have a vague remembrance, memorial, recollection, recall, memento, souvenir. Shouldn't be too hard. I don't think this. We say a vague recollection of having once met Stephen Harmis, but I couldn't tell you where it was. A recollection is a vague memory. Recollection and a memory are essentially the same thing when a memory is a countable object. Noun, rather. So yeah, it's a vague recollection. More or less, I remember. It's a bit hazy, but yeah. Okay, let's have a look at number 8. The murder suspect managed to throw the police the trail with a brilliant alibi. An alibi is normally it's like a story which confirms that you couldn't have been in the place they say you were. Normally it's because you've got a person who's an alibi, no? They confirm that you were with them at the time of the murder, for example, so it's impossible that you could have murdered the victim. To throw the police on the trail, out of the trail, about the trail, off the trail. You throw the police off the trail. They're on the trail to finding you, to convicting you, and you, throw them off. I think it comes from hunting dogs, that you throw them off the trail, for example, when they're following a fox or something. A fox, actually I think a fox might do this. Is this a thing? They'll rub themselves in the scent of another animal so that the dogs get thrown off the trail. I think they'll roll themselves in excrement of other animals, for example, to try and throw the dogs off the trail, essentially. Try to lose them. Don't worry about swimming with that watch on. It is waterproof, watertight, foolproof, water-free. Well, I hope it's water-free. but it's waterproof, watertight, foolproof. Now, we would say waterproof means that water can't get into it, all right? Bulletproof, bullets can't get into it. Yeah, watertight means that something doesn't let water out, but we also use it in a figurative sense to say that it's not going to leak. There are no problems, right? It's watertight. It's a watertight plan. Foolproof means that even a fool could do it. It's really such a perfect plan, so easy to understand. It's foolproof. Just going to block any incoming calls here. Right, good. Let's go to number 10 then. Yeah, that's definitely waterproof, I think. Number 10. Concerning, for all, whenever, with regards to, my boss notices what I do in the office, I might as well not be there. Right, okay. Yeah, that's actually quite a difficult one, but I think I have the answer. We will check them now. I think it's for all my boss notices that I do in the office, notices what I do in the office, I might as well not be there. Concerning, that doesn't quite sound right. That's like, it's very similar to with regards to. So you could say with regards to what I do in the office, my boss takes no notice. Concerning what I do in the office, my boss takes no notice. Whenever I'm in the office that my boss doesn't take notice of me, I might not as well. Now, for all my boss notices, I might as well not be there. No? Let's just quickly check those answers. And obviously I didn't write it. Oh, it just tells you the letter. So let's number 10, that was the only one that possible doubt. And it says it is B. And that's for all. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so let's go to another one. Let's go and do another one. I think I got 10 out of 10 there. Let me know if you got any different answers. But I'm fairly sure I did okay. All right. As you can see, Mr. Beeston, this apartment is lovely and breezy, airy, drafty, windy. Okay, and gets the sun for most of the day. It would be wonderful here in the summer. Breezy. It's lovely and breezy. Breezy is not necessarily a good thing. It means that you get a lot of breeze, a lot of wind. Same as windy, really. Drafty, that's definitely a bad thing. Lovely and drafty. No, a draft is, the air currents that come in through doors and windows. So that wouldn't be a good thing. It's lovely and airy. No, it's kind of like well ventilated and bright. It allows light and air into it. That's a good thing. Lovely and airy and gets sun for most of the day. Airy, no doubt about that one. Yeah, okay, let's go to number 2. The nation went into 2 days of official grief, sadness, mourning, misery. Yeah, either you know this or you don't. When the president was killed. Yeah, the nation went into 2 days of official sadness. No, mourning. Yeah, it went into mourning. Mourning is sort of a... Yeah, what's another word for mourning? I don't really know, but I guess it's sort of like an official state of sadness or grief, isn't it? When they cancel celebrations and things like that, and they put the flags on government and government buildings at half-mast. We're in mourning. Anyway, okay, number 3. Police knew the escaped bear. Well, this happened recently here where I live. A few days ago, a bear got into a zoo and ripped apart loads of animals, killed 16 animals. Anyway, police knew the escaped bear was in the area, but it proved ecstatic, evasive, effective, elusive, and they eventually gave up the hunt. Evasive, I think, means that it avoided them. I think the word we want to use here, not ecstatic. Excited. It was really happy and excited. No, it was elusive. Like it couldn't be spotted. No, it couldn't be found. Yeah, it proved elusive. It was hard to see, hard to find, impossible. Yeah, it eluded them. Okay, number 4. Talent, luck, and bribery will get you so far in this world. I've never heard that expression. Talent, luck, and bribery will get you so far in this world, but there is no alternative, imitation, substitute, model. Now, I think some people might be tempted to say no alternative, but it would be there is no alternative to hard work. Imitation and model, no. There is no substitute for hard work. Yeah, that one's fairly clear, I think. No substitute for hard work. Okay, number 5. Look, everything is half price in that shop window. They are having a moving on sale, closing down sale, setting off sale, breaking down sale. They're moving on now. I think what they're doing is they are closing down. The shop is in liquidation, as they say in Spain, in liquidación. Yeah, they're having a closing down sale because they're going to close the shop, and so they're selling everything at half price because they need to get rid of the stock. So yeah, all right, let's go to number 6. Looking after 4 children alone took its stress, strain, weight, toll on Jennifer, but she coped admirably. So I think what we mean here is it had some negative impact on Jennifer. No, she suffered. It took its toll is the expression. It took its toll on Jennifer. I don't know where that expression comes from exactly. Maybe it comes from taking money at the toll gate. It's like possibly it takes something out of you. It's a price you have to pay. So it took its toll on Jennifer. It taxed her, which is another expression. No, if something taxes you, it stresses you, it works you, you know. So I think it's probably something to do with that. But yeah, we definitely say it took its toll on Jennifer. Okay. Number 7. He finally managed to find a hotel. However, albeit, even though, but a very expensive one. And they were both relieved. So he finally managed to find a hotel. And what we mean to say here is, even though, yeah, it's true, it was an expensive hotel, and they were both relieved. So he managed to find a hotel, albeit an expensive one. Yeah, admittedly, it was an expensive one. But that was a good thing anyway. So, albeit an expensive one, and they were both relieved. Albeit, B, definitely. No, I'm not finding this too difficult today, I have to say, so far, but we're only 17 into a 50-question quiz, so that was a very tasty stew, Mrs. Honeywell. Can I have another dose, bout, ration, helping? Well, this one could be confusing, I guess, because, you know, in Spanish, I guess, for, you know, another portion of food, you do say ración, but ration in English is well, what you have in the war. No, you have rations. You have like small amounts so that the total amount of food doesn't run out. So it's not a ration. A bout, you'd have a bout of scarlet fever or something like that. You have a bout of illness. You have a bout of some illness. A dose of medicine. A helping of food. Yeah, another helping of stew in this case. Can I have another helping? Yeah, no questions about that one. Okay, number 9 then. Okay, I just made turnip for 18 points, Gary. Now it's your game, pass, try, go. Right, so I guess they're playing Scrabble here, and I made turnip for 18 points. I don't know how to play Scrabble. I've never played Scrabble. There you go. Now it's your game, your pass, your try. It's your go. It's your turn. There's another way to say it. There's another turn of phrase. It's your turn, it's your go. I'm finding this pretty easy today. I've got to say, yeah, it's your go. Number 10. I don't think I have enough money till the weekend, even for myself. Not speaking to, let alone, not counting, except lend you any. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we say not speaking to, no. Speaking to something is like explaining something, no? But no, we might say not to mention lending you any. No, the expression here is, I don't have enough money for myself, so I don't have enough money for myself, let alone lend you any. Yeah. Yeah, not alone. Yeah, there's no doubt about that one. Well, 20 out of 20 so far. No doubt about that. Really, I don't need to check any of them. I'm absolutely certain about any of them. If anyone's got any questions, then let me know. But so far, so good, I think. I'm surprised because I often get one or two wrong. Anyway, it's obvious that the exercises are of better quality today. There's no mistakes by the website. Yeah. I didn't break anything when I fell over, but I ended up with a great purple fracture, wound, injury, bruise on my thigh. Well, you don't get a fracture on your thigh. You could get a wound. A wound is like a skin lesion, no, when you break the skin. Injury is not very exact. I mean, you wouldn't say a purple injury. Bruises are purple, no. Yeah, it's a bruise. No doubt about it. Yeah, pretty sure we're going well here. We're coming up to the halfway point. So, Harold's problems began when he fell out with, in with, for, back on the wrong type of person and ended up becoming a criminal himself. So this is when he started hanging around with the wrong sort of person, no, the wrong type of people. Yeah, when he fell in with when he fell in with the wrong type of person. Yeah. No questions asked. Let's move on. I will not be made the loser, sacrifice, scapegoat, target for this disaster. I acted on the advice of people above me in this company, and if I go, I'm taking them with me. I'm gonna go down fighting. If I'm going down, you're coming with me. Yeah, so I will not be made the scapegoat. The scapegoat is to do with sacrifice, of course. Every time there was a natural disaster or things went wrong, you know, the typical thing was to sacrifice a goat, wasn't it? Back in the 1950s. No, yeah, so it's a scapegoat, yeah. I'm not going to be blamed for this. It's clearly not my fault. I was just obeying orders. I'm not going to be made the scapegoat for this disaster. It wasn't my fault. I was just following the advice of people who are in higher positions, yeah. Scapegoat. Yeah, so no problems at all so far, gotta say. I'm surprised. The weather across most of the New England area will be various, changed, changeable, diverse today. God, even the weather's diverse. No. Some showers, but with plenty of sunshine too. Yeah, I think what we're saying is it's going to be changing quite a lot. It's going to be very changeable. See? This is ridiculously easy, these ones today. I don't know, maybe it's just me. If anyone's got any doubts, as I say, leave a comment on the video, but yeah, not difficult, I've got to say so far. The economy did very well for a number of years until public expenditure began to outstrip, overtake, overrun, catch up. Ooh, I might have to check this one. Tax collected by the government. Overtake tax collected by the government? Possibly. Outstrip, possibly. Outrun. Outrun is to go further, to run faster. Don't think that's right. Catch up with. No. It's funny, I was talking about this yesterday. The Laffer curve in one of my classes. But anyway, until public expenditure began to, I guess it has to be overtake tax collected. I think it has to be overtake tax collected by the government. I will check number 5. But yeah, it means obviously public expenditure was here. Tax revenue collected by the government was here. But then over the years, expenditure went up and the tax revenue stayed at the same level. And that's when you start to get public deficit. Right? And that apparently is a bad thing. Though some people don't seem to realise it. Yeah, began to overtake. I think it has to be overtake. I'll check that one. 5B, I'm pretty sure it's B, overtake, but we'll check it. And finally, remember that in the desert, your body will waste, spend, invest, expend a lot of energy on keeping cool. You will expend, I think, your body will expend. Will spend or expend? Spend a lot of energy. Oh. Will expend, I think. D, I need to check that one as well. I think it's will expend a lot of energy on just keeping cool. What's the difference between spend and expend? I might need to check the difference there, but I think it's expend. I think your body expends energy. 6D. I'll check that one as well. So 7. I wish you kids would just shut up for 5 minutes. I have got a drumming, splitting, hammering, beating. Yeah, we say that a headache is splitting because it feels like your head's going to split open. Yeah, it's a splitting headache, no doubt about that one. Okay. Oh! I stood up too quickly. I feel a bit sore, dizzy, hungover, unconscious. I feel a bit unconscious. I feel a bit unconscious today. I sometimes do, actually. I feel a bit sore. No, I feel a bit dizzy, don't I? You know, if you stand up too quickly, you get... the blood doesn't go to your head quick enough, or the blood drains out of your head suddenly. I think that's it. And you feel dizzy. You feel like you're losing your equilibrium a little bit, your balance. Okay, 9. When you put the hot water into the bowl, be careful not to sear yourself. Melt yourself. You're not a witch. That shouldn't be a problem if you're not a witch. Scald yourself. Blister yourself. Funny this. Yeah, the word is scald. And I don't know how relevant this is to anyone, but it seems to me that in Spanish, the word escaldar is only figurative, but we use it in a literal sense in English to scald yourself with hot water, particularly with hot water. You could scald your skin. And we do use it in a figurative sense to sort of shout someone down. No, you scold them for their behaviour, or you scold them in you know, the teacher scolded the student rather, for his behaviour, I guess. Okay. The store detective saw him put the chocolate into his pocket, and for the sake of a $2 candy bar, he was charged with burglary, mugging, embezzlement, or shoplifting. Yeah, I think it has to be shoplifting. There are all different kinds of stealing. Burglary is when you enter a house, didn't enter a house. Mugging is when you attack someone in the street and take their wallet, take their money, their possessions. Embezzlement is like fraud. Yeah, shoplifting, definitely. So I think I said in 5 and 6, I think I said B and D, am I right? So I said overtake in 5, so that's B, 5B, and expend energy, 6D. So let's just check 5 and 6, B and D, hopefully. In 5 it says A. And 6 it does say D. Now that can't be right. 5A. Outstrip. Okay. I guess I did doubt about that one. Could it not be overtake as well? Began to overtake tax collected by the government? Yeah, I guess outstrip as well, yeah. I didn't really think about that for long enough, I suppose. Yeah, it began to outstrip tax collected by the government. It started to become higher, more. Yeah. I suppose the public expenditure, could it not overtake tax collected by the government? I guess maybe overtake. Why is that wrong? Maybe if something overtakes another thing, it starts to go ahead, so it gets better, it advances. Yeah, I guess outstrip is right. I wonder if there's a. I do have to wonder though. Is overtake definitely wrong? I guess if something overtakes something else, it like becomes more important or gets ahead of it. Now we talk about cars overtaking each other now on the road. Yeah, I guess it might be seen as sort of like outperform. Yeah, I need to think about that one a little bit. Anyway, let's move on. And we're on to exercise 4 of 5 here. Okay. The investigation after the accident found that someone had fiddled, tampered, adjusted, fidgeted with the rocket's fuel system, causing the launchpad explosion. Someone had fiddled with, tampered with, fidgeted, adjusted. We could say adjusted the rocket's fuel system, yeah. But not adjusted with. Fiddle with something is to touch it, and fidget with something is when you're nervous. You like the fidget spinners now, because you've got nervous energy and you want something to fidget with. But I think what we want to say here is someone had manipulated it. Someone had touched it unnecessarily and altered it, had tampered with the rocket's fuel system. Yeah, I think it has to be tampered, yeah. Okay, number 2. Although a disconnected, detached, dismounted, decentralized retina sounds very serious, the operation to repair it only took a short time. Well, when you have an impact in your head, sometimes your retina can become detached. You get a detached retina. B. No question about that one. Number 3. Harrison fumbles, stumbles, mumbles, cuddles the ball in the last minute. His teammates look furious as their last chance of victory slips away. Fumbles the ball. Stumbles is to trip. Mumbles is when you don't speak clearly. Cuddle is to, embrace something. You cuddle up to somebody that you love. A child will cuddle up with their mother or their father. Harrison fumbles the ball in the last minute. Yeah, he He lost it. It slipped out of his hands. He fumbled. Yeah, fumbles. No doubt about that one. The robbery was carried out in open, wide, broad, clear daylight and with hundreds of witnesses present. So the most common expression here is when something happens, particularly a crime, that you would normally expect to happen at night when there are fewer people about to witness it, or who could identify the criminal, the perpetrator, and you're surprised that it takes place in daylight. You say it was carried out in broad daylight. Yeah, see, no doubt about that one. That's a very common expression. Broad daylight. It was carried out in broad daylight. Along with your new responsibilities, you will have access, entrance, contact, admission to highly confidential information about the staff here. So we need you to sign a new agreement promising not to disclose anything, not to reveal anything, right? So yeah, this one's easy. You will have access to highly confidential information. Yeah, that one's clear. Do you know what the letters DVD, stand by, stand down, stand for, stand over? Yeah. What do they represent? What do they stand for? Yeah, very clearly see. And no, I don't. What does DVD stand for? God, we don't use them anymore. I can't even remember. Digital video disc? I don't know. Whoa. There we go. That's back where it should be. Okay, number 7. Come on, Jane. Stop loitering, delaying, faltering, dithering, and make a decision and we can go. Now, these are all similar words. Loitering means to be spending too much time in one place in behaving suspiciously. It's a very, very specific thing, loitering. We talk about groups of teenagers loitering around the entrance of a shop, and the police might come and say, hey, you can't just stand here all day. You're loitering. You're scaring people. We don't want you here. Go on, move on, break it up, move on. So I don't think they're telling her to stop loitering. Stop delaying and make a decision? No, she might be delaying her decision, right? But stop delaying, it's not an intransitive verb. You have to delay something. Stop faltering. Faltering is like making false starts. No, this is dithering. Oh, I'm dithering, I can't make a decision. Yeah, stop dithering and make a decision. Yeah, it's clearly that. It's like hesitating, right? Okay. The unmanned boy, drill, robot, probe, difficult, left Earth in 1986 and reached Saturn this week, where it will take photos and radio other information back to us here. A buoy, those things that you see floating, the buoyant balls of plastic nowadays that you see floating in the ocean. I'm not even really sure what they're for, to be honest. Oh yeah, maybe to show boats. They're like points of reference for boats, aren't they? I think, or something like that. Unmanned drill? No. Robot? Maybe. Probe. I think we're talking about a probe that they sent to Mars. Yeah, it's a probe. Don't think there's any doubt about that one. That they sent to Saturn, rather. That car is a bit on the costly part, front, side, level. I think I will think about it. For a few days. It's a bit on the costly side, right? There's two sides. There's expensive and inexpensive. Expensive and cheap. It's a little bit on the side of costly, right? It's a little bit on the costly side. Yeah, it's a little bit expensive. Costly side, no doubt about that. Number 10. In some parts of Europe, being in of cannabis, being in hold, in control, in possession, in ownership of cannabis is legal, although selling it to others is still illegal. Being in hold, no. Having hold of something, possibly, but no. In control, no. In possession. In possession of cannabis. Being in possession of something. Yeah, definitely. No question about that. I don't think I need to check any of those. Again, if you've got any doubts, comments in the comment section. Okay. Last one we're going to do today. 10 more. And so far I've only got one wrong, so 49 out of 50 to put that on the thumbnail, that would be pretty good, I think. No? It's good enough for me. Okay. Suddenly Hoskins looked up as the train came, went, arrived, brought to an abrupt halt. Maybe the KGB had discovered his whereabouts. Oh God, terrifying. Hoskins looked up as the train came to an abrupt halt. Yeah, it stopped suddenly. It came to an abrupt halt. No doubt about that one. Number 2. Still on track for 49 out of 50. This is a brilliant performance so far by me. You haven't cooked this meat enough, Andrew. Mine is almost raw, rare, undone, fresh. Now, this could be confusing. I guess undone, we do say it isn't done enough, definitely, but undone means that something like, I don't know, something was done and then undone again. So we wouldn't say that. Like you do and undo your buttons, no? Fasten and unfasten. So that's not right. Almost fresh. Well, there's nothing wrong with meat being fresh. It means that it's new, no? So we do talk about steak, about meats being rare, but that is, again, not something you would complain about. That's a point of... That's the point at which you like your steak. No, you will like it rare, medium rare, well done. Blue rare, I think, is the one where it's, practically still mooing. The problem here is that it's raw still. The meat's raw. It isn't cooked enough. It's almost raw. Yeah, the answer's definitely A, raw. Number 3, I do like the new boss, but he is just a bit too bossy for my taste, suit, flavour, liking. The expression here, yeah, okay, we do talk about what suits you. We talk about your taste. Flavour, no, not in this context. But the expression is, he's too bossy for my liking. I would prefer him to be a bit less bossy. Our boss. Anyway, number 4, coming to the end here, still on track for a 49 out of 50, which would be, frankly, an excellent score. It says, you will know if the bomb arms itself. It will admit, expel, emit, eject a high-pitched sound for about 10 seconds before it goes off. It's not admit and it's not eject. Emit a sound, no? You expel like a gas or a smell or something like that. It will emit a sound, no? Yeah, it's emit. I'll check it, but 4 is C. It's emit, definitely. It's got to be. She hid the killer for 2 days in her house and has now been charged with diverting, converting, perverting, subverting the cause of justice. The expression here, again, you either know it or you don't. It's hiding a killer, or if you don't tell the truth in court, what you are charged with is perverting the course of justice. Nothing to do with perverts. Anyway, number 6. Did you hear that old Harris just married Jessica, the daughter of the Duchess of Wilmslow? Very English. That is quite an ahoan, in my opinion. Quite a haul, quite an asset, quite a loot, quite a catch. Yeah, I think it's a catch. So it's sort of like like when you get a big fish. What a catch. The catch of the day. Quite a catch. Yeah, definitely. You know, if you marry the daughter of a duchess, that's, I guess, a pretty good catch. You've married well. Yeah, a catch. Yeah, D. Haul is also another fishing term. You know, it's all of the fish that you get in your net. The haul, an asset is just a good that you own, a possession essentially. The things that you have under your name, no, your car, your business, your house. Loot, that's more to do with criminal activity, no? Might talk about what a pirate has in his loot, or you might talk about some of the protesters in the USA looting shops. Anyway, but yeah, the answer is definitely catch. Whoa. Back to where it was. Okay, 7. The consequences of this terrorist attack will be dire, stringent, absurd, callous. World peace is truly under threat. Well, we talk about the consequences of something happening, something that happened being dire. We talk about dire consequences. Very, very negative consequences. Yep, no doubt about that one. Don't touch that letter yet. I have just written it with my new ink pen, and it will blur, fog, smudge, smear. Oh. Okay. Blur, that's to do with how something looks, and it's, if you've got bad eyesight, things look blurry, no? If something's not focused on a camera, the image will be a blur. So it's not blur. Fog, no. Smudge or smear? Well, to smear is more like to sort of, I think, deliberately spread a liquid over a surface. To smear. We also talk about it in a figurative sense, to badmouth someone, to talk negatively about somebody in the press, for example, would be a smear campaign. You know, when you want to sort of launch ad hominem attacks against a political rival, for example. Smudge. Has to be smudge. I'll check that one. 8C. I think I said 4C and 8C are the ones I'm going to check here now, I think. 9. There will be a long controlling, screening, monitoring, testing process before you can be considered for this highly sensitive post. We will let you know in about 3 months if we can continue with the application. Yeah. So it's, we call these processes of selecting a candidate, we call them screening processes. Yeah. Why? I've never really thought about it. I don't know why. So there you go. Okay, number 50. The company bought, then sold their main rivals at a large profit, and the assets, rewards, proceeds, costs were used to improve technology in the factories worldwide. Now, assets are the things that they've probably sold. Now, if you buy a company, a lot of the time we have these people, these companies, they're companies themselves that buy other companies, called asset strippers. They'll go in, buy a company, and basically make a profit by selling on the assets of the company, all of the things that that company owns, all of the buildings, all of the goods, maybe vehicles and things that they own. All of the assets will be sold on. But no, what we want to say is that all of the money that was made, no, all of the proceeds, right, all of the money that was made from that process from that exercise, all of the proceeds were used to improve technology in the factories worldwide. Now I'm going to check number 4. I think it was, I said emit, right? So 4C. I think, was it 8 or 9? No, 8. I said smudge, 8C. So 4 and 8 should both be C. So I'll just check those. 4 is C and 8 is C. No problems. Well, there you go. 50 in 50 minutes, not bad. And I think I got 49 out of 50. I don't know, leave any comments, any doubts that you've got. Leave them below. And if you want to get more content from this channel, more personalized content from this channel, then have a look at the options on the blue button under this video. Goodbye for now.